Okay, now it'll scream at me if anything's wrong, and upvotes. Ancient Dreadnought reactivated, targeting... In the early morning hours of October 10th, pilots around the island of Bing began to receive a strange radio signal of an imminent attack. Although not taken seriously at first, the situation began to unfold as a clear target would be defined, and the threat would become tangible. The Bing Airforce would mobilize slowly, with the first plane only arriving 30 minutes after the threat was received. Commercial airplanes around the island were also grounded, while some were ordered to aid in the evacuation of Nordspear. Just an hour after the threat was made, the Dreadnought's lights were seen 50 miles out. One evacuation plane was nearly caught in the blast, but it was able to escape in time. Oh, get out. Go. Now turn that way and flee. There's the Dreadnought. Oh! That's sick. Yo! Just 30 minutes after the bombing, the Bing Airforce was able to scramble an aging Soviet fighter and an AWACS, with many more planes en route. Unfortunately, the defensive systems of the Dreadnought were proven strong, and it returned to strike Nordspear yet again, strafing a commercial airliner in the process. What is that? With a commercial airliner down, the BAF scrambled 2 more fighters to the fight. Oh my gosh, on the F-22?
Sync rate.
And finally, the Dreadnought's defensive systems had gone offline. Now it was time for its offensive system to come online. I'm on fire! This would lead to many BAF casualties, with some ending up crashing straight into the landscape, while others would ditch into the ocean nearby. Oh, I'm ditching in the ocean. Okay. However, among these casualties was also the Dreadnought. We did it! However, that excitement would be short-lived, as yet another threat had arisen to the island of Bing. As BAF forces began to regroup, a hypersonic bomber would be detected on radar, but it was already too late. This detonation left the BAF with heavy losses. As the BAF fought to locate the hypersonic bomber, Iconian fighters were en route to support. Oh my god! Now, as the BAF struggled to shoot it down, the hypersonic bomber would shoot down a fighter plane. And now, the Iconian reinforcements had arrived. It was now that the tides were turned and the hypersonic bomber, too, would fall to its fate. And yet again, with the blind battle cries of victory, came the naivety of the attacker's nature, for they wouldn't just stop at 2 bombs. This time, a plane, faster than anyone had ever seen, would launch an attack on the island of Bing for one final time. But it knew its power, and it would taunt the fighters. After its first passover, radar was able to catch the hypersonic plane going roughly 7,500 miles per hour, almost 10 times the speed of sound. And finally, after sending one horribly misspelled transmission of bomb, Bing Airport would be no more. Bob. The Battle of Bing would be a Pyrrhic victory for the attackers. After losing 2 of their 3 bombers, they would retreat. However, the entire town and the airfield of Nordspear would be wiped off the map of the island of Bing, and is today not safe to access. What would result from the Battle of Bing would be a bloody brothers' war of the northern countries in Aeronautica. But sometimes, if you walk into a BAF airbase, or if you walk into even an Iconian airbase, sometimes you'll still hear that old battle cry. Hurrah for Bing.
Sync rate.
Hit the brakes, hit the brakes, hit the brakes. We're coming in. Hot. Okay, I came a bit too